Mike Huckabee is now targeting Lindsey Graham for a couple of reasons. One, because he thinks that Lindsey Graham isn't being vocally supportive enough in saying he'll do anything to get Trump's proposed Supreme Court nominee onto the court. And also because he thinks that Graham has been a little bit too critical of Devin Nunes in his intelligence investigations. And so him being critical of Lindsey Graham isn't a surprise. But what is a bit of a surprise is the particular angle he uses to attack Lindsey Graham, which you're gonna see in this clip.
You can always count on Lindsey Graham, can't you, Governor Huckabee?
Well, I'm very disappointed in Lindsey. I sometimes wonder what uniform he puts on each morning when he goes out to the field to play. And I'm not just talking about the partisan uniform, but I think to bring that kind of criticism and to call the chairman of the House Intel Committee, who is a person of integrity, to call him an Inspector Clouseau, to use those kind of terms basically to diminish him, it's very unfortunate. It's demeaning.
he just called him gay.
That's exactly what he did.
And in case it wasn't obvious, which by the way, Mike, it was obvious. He then said, and I'm not just talking about his partisan uniform. Yeah, we know that you're calling him gay.
Yeah.
This guy wanted to be president, and we feared for a little while back during a more, I guess, sane time compared to Trump that he could be president. He just called Lindsey Graham gay.
Yeah. Now, it's not to say that Lindsey Graham isn't gay.
Yeah, exactly. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
That's right. And it's not to say that Lindsey Graham's hypocrisy on gay rights issues shouldn't be called out. And by the way, we don't know for sure what Lindsey Graham is or isn't.
I have no idea.
Now, those rumors have been swirling around for a long, long time. Now, the Republicans usually don't talk about him because they like to pretend that they're all straight and that their absolute obsession with gay sex is just because they care about family values, right? So if you want to criticize Lindsey Graham for being a hypocrite, great, God bless, go forward. In fact, I'm going to do that on a separate issue in just 1 second. But Mike Huckabee pretends to be the family values guy. But now all of a sudden, when you got to go dirty and you got to undercut another Republican, which ironically he's criticizing Lindsey Graham for criticizing other Republicans.
Exactly.
But he's willing to do it in the dirtiest way possible.
Well, I think he was quoting Jesus actually.
Oh, is that right?
When he did that, the uniform thing. Jesus was always talking about uniforms.
Yeah.
Now, look, Lindsey Graham has been, over the past decade, a little bit more rational on a couple of issues occasionally, and he has certainly been more willing to attack Donald Trump on a number of different issues. But that doesn't mean that he's some great guy or he doesn't deserve to be attacked, so let's attack him. So there we were talking about Neil Gorsuch and his chances of getting onto the court. And so Lindsey Graham had this to say: if you do not allow an up or down vote on this guy, then you don't care about traditions of the Senate, and you don't care about President Trump being treated fairly. The one thing I will not do is allow President Trump to be denied what every other president has had the ability to do: nominate qualified people. I'm not going to play the game two different ways, which by the way probably opened up another joke from Mike Huckabee. But let's move on from that. So there he's saying every other president gets to nominate these judges. How could you take that away? How could you have two sets of rules? Which is weird because I did some Googling and I found articles like this from last year. After meeting Merrick Garland, Graham stands by Supreme Court strategy of denying Barack Obama an up and down vote on his nominee. That's weird. Does he not know that Google exists?
So this is again what drives me crazy about the Republicans and the media. So they are notorious, pathological liars. So this Lindsey Graham comes out, Obama, you're not gonna get a hearing on Merrick Garland. I don't care. We're not even gonna hear him out. I don't care how qualified he is.
And he says he's qualified. He says he's great.
Yeah, he said that about Merrick Garland, Obama's pick. He said it, right? And he said, I don't care what his positions are. We're for close to a year, we're not gonna allow a vote, no up or down vote. Then, as if he never said that just a couple of months ago, he comes back around and goes, how dare the Democrats not allow an up and down vote if they don't care about the traditions of the Senate? I mean, what an unbelievable liar. What a brazen liar. But TV, when Lindsey Graham comes in, they're like, the beloved and honorable Lindsey Graham. They love Lindsey Graham because every once in a while he'll tweak the Republicans. Hey, maybe we shouldn't torture so many people. Oh, the honorable Lindsey Graham, right? And also, but the real reason they love Lindsey Graham is because he's the senator from Lockheed Martin. There's John McCain and Lindsey Graham haven't met a defense contractor that they didn't want to make love to. So, I mean, you want to talk about their real proclivities? That's their proclivities. They take buckets of cash from defense contractors, and every time they vote for war, and more bombing. The reason that they tweak Trump is because he might not want to go to war with Russia. He might not want to go to further hostilities in Syria. Yeah. Don't worry, Lindsey, you'll get all the wars you want with Donald, okay? Exactly, yeah. But that's the only reason he criticizes. But the mainstream media, as if he's honorable. He's a goddamn obvious, notorious liar. You just saw it with your own eyes. Yeah. So the way to criticize Lindsey Graham is not based on who he's sleeping with. It's that
unless it's defense contractors, to be fair.
Yes, it's the reality is he's an enormously, disgustingly corrupt politician.
Yes.
You ever see that on TV? All you'll ever see on TV, even from the so-called progressives or whoever the hell they think they are on TV, so from the so-called neutral people, they will never point out the amount of money he's taking from defense contractors, and they will never point out what kind of an unbelievable liar he is, which you now see with your own eyes. And if you don't believe our video, go Google all day, all night. You will see Lindsey Graham saying Merrick Garland should not get an up or down vote. Presidents don't need to get an up or down vote. Now saying Trump must get an up or down vote. How dare they prevent an up and down vote? Yeah. And that wasn't decades ago. That wasn't years ago. That was just a couple of months ago. One last thing. Lindsey Graham also a goddamn liar when it comes to, the traditions of the Senate. When the Republicans were in the minority, the traditions of the Senate, like the filibuster, must be protected so we can block every single thing that Obama does. Mm-hmm. Now the traditions of the Senate, traditions of the Senate. Screw the traditions of the Senate. I never cared about him. I was just messing with you idiot Democrats and you idiot pundits on television. You all believed me and you all spewed my lies, and I can always count on you to be my suckers. Yeah. When in fact, I am an open and notorious liar, Lindsey Graham. Podcast The Young Turks anytime you want. TYTnetwork.com/join.
I think it's weird.
No, it's not weird. In fact, you'll think,
I'm like a smart person.
Do it now. TYTnetwork.com/join.